All right, here we go. All right, so welcome to this rant, basically. We're going to be tasting some new tea. I'm probably going to talk about everything that I know about white tea. And because I do think this should be a white tea. Yes, this is an Old Tree white tea. This was given to me, right? So today I picked up a little bit more of the Jinmudan red tea, which is a fantastic tea. Interesting thing happened. I was in there and I go to pick it up and I was like, hey, I want some of the Jinmudan. And she goes, okay. And she tells the assistant, this girl who works in the shop with her, to start packing up. And then she kind of turns to me and she goes, which Jinmudan? I was like, oh, the one I had before. And I point to the box on the shelf. I say, that one. She goes, oh, the red tea. And I was like, wait a minute. Are you telling me there's a Jinmudan white tea? So there was other people in the shop today. Actually, there was people I knew from other tea shops. And they were already drinking some stuff, and I didn't want to take over, but there might be a Jinmudan white tea, which is awesome. Oh shit. Going everywhere. Interesting. Okay, so this is on Instagram. Sorry, people on YouTube, I can't move the camera. Is it green tea? No, it's a white tea. So the reason I thought this was a green tea is you see the leaves have this very kind of like stiff look, like that leaf right there, that guy right there. That's a very kind of white tea, and that, like, if you gave me this leaf, can I grab it? I can grab it, and I'll show you guys in a minute. If you gave me this leaf by itself, I would drop it. No, I wouldn't drop it. Yeah, no, it's hard to. I'm trying to see. There's my meta. So if you gave me that leaf by itself, it looks like a green tea. And this does kind of look like a green tea, but judging by this bud particularly, so this is a white tea. But definitely an interesting white tea. It says Lao Shu Bai Cha, and I think it's, okay, this is definitely Shao Sai Cha. All right, let me see if I can. So the other day I was on Reddit, and I was on Discord actually, and someone on Discord posted a picture of some white tea that they were drinking from Old Ways Tea. And I was looking at it, and I was like, that's not Fuding white tea. That's not Fuding Da Bai. That's not Fuding Da Hao. And I phrased it as a question. I was like, hey, is that from Fuding? And they said they weren't sure. And sure enough, I smell it already. I just got a whiff, and interesting. Not gonna say anything yet. Hello. We are drinking what? So it's definitely Shao Sai Cha. Because it just has that. And maybe I'll post it later. I wish I could post. It just has this very it's a very vegetal aroma. It smells like a green tea. And some of these colors are very green, in a sort of green that you don't usually get from white tea. So generally with white tea, with any tea, you want hue, and you get it. Like, you never want a color too strong. And with white tea, you really don't usually get such green leaves. Which, especially, okay, so that's going back to what I was saying before, to Fuding Bai Chas, Fuding Da Bai, Fuding Da Hao, which are the two most common cultivars within Fuding, and the general white, the Fuding, and then outside of Fuding, the general region. So I can put this up so you guys can see what I'm drinking here. Gosh, what I need is that. What I need is right off screen. Very clear liquid. I will say the liquid is. That is really comfortable. Now this is just the rinse, but that's really comfortable to drink. Ooh, the Hui Gan on that. My mouth feels so slippery. Take me to dinner first. Pause. That came out wrong. Old Tree white teas have been a thing recently for me as I taste different Old Tree white teas and I try to get to the bottom of Old Tree white teas and what the fuck does it mean to be Old Tree white tea and what does that do to the flavor? This has to be a fucking green tea. This has to be a fucking green tea. No fucking way. Hold on, I need to pause. Sorry, people on Instagram, I need to pause. I'll be right back. I need to. Ooh, dog person. Hello, dog. Oh, dog person left. I need to send a message. Hold on. And I'm back. Okay. So, this has to be a fucking green tea. I just asked. Oh my god. Hello, Reese. Sorry, I'm in conversation. Jesus Christ, it tastes like a green tea. And I don't. Okay, it's a little bit. Okay. What's up? I am doing a thing. I am in the middle of a thing. A thing is happening. I don't know what's happening here. I don't know how I feel about. I think okay. There's a lot happening here. Okay, so we have this. It's she answered very quickly because she's in the shop. It's a Lao Shu Sai Cha, which an Old Tree little veggie, an Old Tree heirloom varietal. Old trees, yeah, it's always a. And I knew it. Today's a thing day. There's a lot of things happening today. It's just good. It's just good. So it's an Old Tree heirloom varietal. If it's not heirloom varietal, honestly, you can really. If it's not heirloom varietal, if it's not Gongmei, Sao Shai Cha, whatever phrase the you buy from use, Old trees can add something to the flavor, but I'm not sure if what they add justifies the price. So, for example, I have the Panchi woman makes a very good white tea, very good silver needle, and then she has that same sort of flavor, but then with the Old Tree. The Old Tree does really nice things to the body. It makes it very clean, and there is an influence clearly, but it's also like 1,000 kwai per pound more expensive. 1,000 kwai is about $150, and 1,000 kwai, that's a big difference. You can get really good. In any category of tea, 1,000 kwai per pound can get you a good tea. Some depending on the category, it can get you an amazing tea. Depending on what the market standard is, it can get you a good tea for white tea. So this Old Tree is 1,000 kwai more. And it's just like, I don't know if this is an 1,000 kwai flavor difference. Oh man, I sold out. I mean, I need to get more of that. Oh, so much I have to fucking do. It is. I really like that one. The Dinku Dafang is just also really good daily drink. I think it's not. I think this year's isn't. I mean. This one isn't amazing. I don't think we're talking top quality, but it just hits the spot. It's a spot hitter. That's what it is. It's a spot hitter for sure. And it's what you need. It's what you need when you're like, you're just by yourself, you're with friends, you're not trying to get too overly geeky. Like, I do think it would definitely hold its own in a side by side. But I really fell in love with that tea, Grandpa styling it. For the aroma. Okay, so let's go back to this tea. This tea, and I'm going to go back to the shop eventually in the next few days and talk to the owner. Because also, me and this owner have a really nice, we get along well. And I mean that in a way that we can like talk about things. I sometimes have trouble talking with people, mostly because of my Chinese. My Chinese limits the things I can just physically say by quite a bit. But it's also difficult. There's a culture thing, and so you have a lot of these makers who are kind of small town, kind of grew up in the area, didn't go to college. Good people, but hard to find common things to talk about. Usually quite a bit, usually about 10 to 20 years older than me too. This owner, my age, went to college in Fuzhou, which is the capital of Fujian. Her husband is a fucking good time. He's just a fucking good time, happy, smiley, good energy. But me and her have a really good relationship, and so we can talk about a lot of stuff. And so I think I can go into her shop and be like, this tea tastes like a green tea. Well, I once said that to another shop, and they were like, oh my God, you can't say that. No, it doesn't. They got very like, I can go to her and just be like, this tea tastes like a green tea. So why? Why does it taste like a green tea? There's two things here. There's making and there's cultivar. First things first. Tastes like it doesn't even taste like a good green tea. That's what's throwing me off. Doesn't even taste like a good green tea. It just tastes like a daily drink of vegetal. It's vegetal. It's vegetal. It's a little astringent. Okay, it's two things. There's cultivar and there's making. So part of this is the cultivar. This is a little veggie tea. It's a little veggie tea, so it's giving something a little different. A little bit of different flavors, not so light, not so bright, not so floral, a little bit more hearty, a little bit more thick. And that's cool, that's great. I do think the making isn't great. Because what I'm tasting, I think it's a little raw. It's a little raw. It's a little raw. Raw, I don't understand exactly what happens to make a white tea raw. My general understanding is basically it wasn't finished. It's kind of like if you cooked something, you didn't cook it through, and it's a little bit raw at the center. So I think the idea is that like, it wasn't completely dried, or it wasn't dried fast enough, maybe. It wasn't dried evenly. And so, well, that's something else. So there's this, a little bit in the middle got funky, and it's just a little bit bitter. And it's a really, I'm gonna say this, okay. If you've ever had the opportunity to eat a tea leaf right off the plant, like pick it from the plant, still alive, and then eat it, that's the raw flavor. It tastes like that. And so that's when we talk about raw, it tastes still uncooked, unfinished. Which is a shame, because I think there is something really cool in this tea, but it is unfinished. It is raw. And it's just bitter, it's a little tannic, the aftertaste is weird. Yeah, there's a lot not good here, and that vegetalness should not be. We're gonna start over. Actually, I don't know why we're gonna start over. I don't know what. I'm gonna break this fucking guy one if I keep doing that. We're going to start over with a full evaluation of this tea. So we can really get into why I think. I mean, it looks like a fucking green tea. It looks like a fucking green tea. Like, what the fuck? What? How the fuck? So I'm having a moment here. This is a white tea. This looks like a green tea. I got two cameras on, so I have to kind of go back and forth. That looks like a fucking green tea. Look at that. Look at that. How is that a white tea? Hold on. Let me ask. Let me fucking ask again. What's in a cup is something that doesn't make any. I mean, this is a green tea. There's no fucking way this is not a green tea. There's no fucking way. I'm sorry, I am going through emotions here. No, but it smells like a white tea. It smells like a white tea. Dry leaf aroma smells like a white tea. I almost want a fucking grandpa style. Actually, yeah, it wouldn't be a bad idea. No fucking way. There's no fucking way this is a white tea. Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. But no, but it has to be. Oh my god. This looks like a malfung. This looks like a malfung. And now it's a little veggie tea, so we're not talking about, if it is white, we're not talking about fooding, you know, the fooding da bai, fooding da hao. We're talking about, oh, there we go. That's good for the YouTube people. We're talking about Shao Sai Cha, which might explain the difference in appearance. But that color, you don't get that color. Get the fuck out of here. I'm about to. I need to calm the fuck down. I need to calm the fuck down. We're gonna. I mean, well, okay. So so this is now. This would be explained by. That could be a cultivar thing. So this is a heirloom cultivar. And so heirloom cultivars are a little weird. You know, they can get a little bit weird. They can kind of break away from what we see as normal. So yeah, this is pretty green. And also remember that there's not just one. When I say heirloom cultivar, when I say gongmei, when I say Shao Sai Cha, we are talking about a range of different teas. You know, it's not like Longjing. It's not like Biluochun, where you have a single heirloom cultivar. You have the original Biluochun cultivar. White teas, there's a lot of different ones, and they're not very much different, but they are a little bit. So you can get different shapes. As this water boils and I try and calm myself, a lot of teas are getting packed up today. A lot of teas got packed up yesterday. I had somebody got 2 ounces of the Jinmudan, so that ran me out. So I had to pick up more today, which is how we got this in our hands. Jinmudan, highly recommended. Jinmudan is highly recommended. Jinmudan, highly recommended. I'm sorry, my brain. I'm talking Jinmudan, but my brain's still on this. Jinmudan is so Jinmudan is actually yeah, it's fucking amazing. I'm working on some wholesale stuff with somebody else. Oh, that's another conversation. I'm working on some wholesale stuff with somebody else, which, by the way, I'll just throw it out here. If you help me get a wholesale account, you get paid. We'll just keep it nice and sweet. Help me get a wholesale account, I'll give you a cut. And yeah, so I sent him samples, and he tried the Jinmudan, and he was like, "This is the best red tea I've had in a long time. The flavors are strong, they're balanced, they're deep. It's so much good in a cup." And it tastes like it's a red tea for Yansha drinkers. Like a lot of what people like about Yanshas and that sort of profile, but in the context of a red tea. So we're gonna try this again. I don't know why we're trying this again. I don't know what the fuck I'm expecting. How the fuck is this? I need to calm down. I need to calm down. I need to calm down. We're gonna Gong Daobei this. We're gonna Gong Daobei this. Oh my god, I'm so excited. Please let me know how that goes. Because also, this is I'm pretty confident. Jesus fucking Christ. I'm pretty confident because I think not all Jinmudans taste like this. This is definitely a special one within even Fuding Jinmudans. Jinmudans do seem to be actually a pretty commonly used cultivar here. I've heard about it. I haven't tasted it, but I've heard about it in other regions. Fuxi in particular. Yeah. So as you see, there's no fucking way. There's no fucking way. Like, everything in my 10 fucking years of experience of focusing on Chinese whites, everything in my brain is telling me this is a green tea. Even the way the way it fucking brews in the Gong Daobei style. Everything in my brain is telling me this is a green tea. How the fuck is this not a green tea? It looks like a green... I need to calm down. Oh my god, you've never done a side-by-side? Oh my... Side-by-sides, look, people, oftentimes on Reddit and on the internet, you're going to see people ask, like, how do I get better at tasting tea? Side-by-sides. Side-by-sides. Your understanding of a tea, of a cultivar, of making, of what type of tea does a company offer, is just going to side-by-sides. It's kind of like I remember one time, I was working at Tea Drunk, and Tea Drunk, Teng Shunan was very picky with her things. She really wanted the best of things. She really wanted everything well made, and so she would have these teas and these potteries as well, these vases and tea caddies, and they were a little pricey. And every now and then we had a regular Orlando, who every now and then would come in, and she would have this tea caddy. I remember she had this one tea caddy for like $60, just basic porcelain, right? Jingdezhen porcelain tea caddy, pretty. But when you looked at it, you're like, why is that $60? And so every now and then Orlando would come in, and he would say, hey, Shunan, I found the same thing for $15. It's the exact same thing. And he would come in and he would put it side by side. And I remember this one tea caddy specifically. He puts the tea caddy side by side and he goes, Nah, it's not the same. Because when you looked at it side by side, you realized the cheaper one just had this like yellowish tint to it. Just had this like when you looked at it by yourself, you're like, oh, that's white. But then when you looked at it next to like porcelain white, you're like, that's kind of a gray. That's kind of, it's not that white. Nicer this way. No, there it is. There it is. It's a little bit nicer this way, I'm not gonna lie. Well, let's see, hold on. It's a little bit nicer this way. And I think that's just because, like, it is a little bit harsh, it is a little bit intense. So it's benefiting from just softer water. No, there it is, no. All right, no. It's just not a good white tea. It's just not a good white tea. It's not a well-made white tea, which is disappointing. Because this maker makes fantastic teas. Jin Mudan, by Mudan White, which I need to just put on the fucking website already. Jesus Christ. The Wild White. Wild White, I need to put on the fucking website already. I keep forgetting. Watermelon White, Jin Mudan, Wild White, all made by her. Or her husband, I think, because I think her husband runs the factory. This one's a swing and a miss. Yeah. Alright, well, that was interesting, frustrating. I mean, I have a lot of questions. For her. 35 minutes, okay. I have a lot of questions for her, and I am... And so the nice thing about this woman and our relationship is I think I could just ask those questions. I think I'd be like, hey, this tasted like a green tea. Because we actually, last time I was there, we had a conversation about like me going to tea shops and not liking the tea and not really knowing what to say. Because the older generations are much more polite and much more safe-faced. And she was like, yeah, no, younger generations, we're fine. And I was like, okay, fine, I'm gonna remember that. Yeah. All right. So that was not what I thought this was going to be. I thought this tea would be a little bit better. I didn't think it was going to be amazing, but I definitely thought it was going to be better than it was. That was just not a good white tea. It's just not well made. And now I know that the look of those leaves can be a white tea, but it's a major red flag. When you open up a white tea, even if it's Shao Sai Cha, and it looks like a green tea, red flag. Red fucking flag. Now I know. Now my data points, I have more data points. I understand more. Yeah. Alright, so I have a shit ton of teas to pack. Here's like, I think this is just even one order, but it's samples, so potential wholesale sample stuff. But shit ton of teas to pack. So, yep, that's it. Packing teas. If you placed an order in the last few days, I packed a bunch yesterday. Still have to pack a few more today, and then just box everything up and send it out. Well, thanks for watching. So that video was originally an Instagram Live, and I edited it down. I edited out the parts where I talk with the people who are watching the live, the parts where I rant about other things, the parts where I was just sitting there and thought. And for the YouTube videos, I really try to keep it to the message, to the point of that live, which in this case was me tasting this sample my friend had given me, and me getting very angry at the fact it wasn't a green tea. But now I know. Now I know that these flavors, even though not good, are possible for green teas, and I know that when I see these sort of leaves for a green tea, these sort of leaves for a white tea, these dry green tea looking leaves, avoid. I know what the flavor is going to be now. Like I said, this is on Instagram, so you can follow me on Instagram. I'm very active on Instagram. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm trying to be more active on YouTube. I know a lot of people prefer YouTube because you can put it on in the background or whatever. I am on TikTok. I'm trying to get more active on TikTok, so follow me on TikTok. And of course, sweetiestew.com for teas that can only be found by living in the tea region. See you soon.